With all due respect, I'm gonna make it clear that I'm not a preacher. I'm not preaching, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with preaching if that's what you've been called to do. In this video, as a person that has a clear understanding of the concept of God, I wanted to break this video down because we're living in times now where people are less likely to believe in God. So let's break down this commentary and let's educate this young brother on what it is and what God really means and just answer a few of his questions. Take this journey with me to the new side of the world called the non-believer in God.
Did I miss get my head on the swivel? I can't be a victim. There's too many hustles, you just gotta be one.
God, man, we talking about God. God did. No one believed in us, but God did. Looking at us. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's hot as fucking here. I'm about to really pass out, bro. Like, I don't know. It's way too hot. I got the windows down, but that's not doing justice. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. It's way too hot. But look, talking about God today. Now, this is a weird topic. This is a good topic. I'm gonna just jump straight into it. I don't believe in God. It's a hag right here, like just walking. Who? It's fucking hot as fuck. You got a umbrella?
With all these beautiful, wonderful, spectacular things around you, how can you not believe in God? The human body itself is a pure masterpiece of God, an existence of creation. Nothing can be created without thought. Nothing blows up and creates man. Nothing blows up and creates planets and purpose. It is impossible without thought. So this idea of misguided explosions bringing purpose together is a pure contradiction within itself. So we all know that humans have purpose, animals have purpose. Food was put on this earth for a reason because somebody knew that we were going to be hungry. Purpose. Let's go.
It's just that hot. Well, it ain't that hot, but it's that hot for you to use umbrella. Like, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, weird people. Like, who the fuck wears an umbrella? Uses an umbrella. But look,
People that are hot. Let's go.
God. Now, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. And the first reason I'm gonna give y'all, there's multiple reasons, but the first reason I'm gonna give y'all is just the most cliche reason. Who created God? And then if somebody the person that created God, who created them? And then who created them? And then who created them? And then it just goes all the way back down to, some bullshit, right?
Now, you was most definitely right when you said a very cliche reason. Now, let me tell you, these are people that don't understand the concept of God. God was never created. God always was and always have been. God created time. Therefore, God is not subject to time. He's not subject to death. He's not subject to a beginning. He's not subject to an end. This is why he doesn't understand the God concept. God means to be above all. God means to be above all, brother. It means that he's above all creations. He is the singular, one and only creator. That means he has created everything, and nothing has been created without his hands. So he's not subject to the things that we're subject to. We are the creation. He is the creator. So he's not subject to time. He created time. Time is in control of his hands. So he's not in control of nothing. He is in control of all. Let's make that clear, brother. So understand the clear concept of God himself. Thank you. Let's go on.
And, you know, we have the Big Bang Theory. I'd rather believe in the Big Bang Theory than, you know, somebody creating God. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, who the fuck created God?
No one. He always was. See, that's a concept we can't wrap our head around. We think everything has to be born. We believe everything has to have a beginning. Everything had a beginning, but God. Everything has an end, but God. He's not subject to none of that. That is what makes him God. Bang. Let's go.
Like, does that make any sense? Like, somebody just created God and then he created us? That make any sense? See, that's the reason why I don't believe in God, because it doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. That's the problem. Let's go.
Even if he is real, what the information that I have as a human being and what I can process as a human being, to me it does not make sense at all. Now I know what a lot of people could say, like, oh well, we're floating on a fucking rock in the middle of space and of infinite time, and you know, okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense either. But my brain can fathom that compared to like God being real. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a God that we have to worship. Like, I don't see that. And that's another thing. Like, you know, the first reason was just like, who created God and then who created them, and then, you know, the ripple effect. Where did it start from? How did it start? You know, same thing with the Big Bang Theory, right? You can say the same thing, but I believe that more than a God being created, like in.
So you would rather believe in something exploding in creating purpose. I promise you, if you go outside and blow up your car, it's not going to come back together. I promise you, if you blow up anything, it's not going to come back together. And if it does, it's most definitely not going to have a purpose. And it's most definitely not going to have the purpose that it had before. Go outside and blow your car up and see if it can still have the purpose of getting you around town. Okay? Those are facts. Let's go.
And then him like creating us. But like that is like, you know, going back to it. And another thing I wanted to talk about too, just real quick before I get back into that one. Bird defects, earthquakes, cancer, tornadoes, tsunamis, all of this shit. How the fuck is God real? Why would God create that? He created the world, right? Why would he create some shit that can kill a whole fucking country, a whole fucking state? A tsunami that can kill thousands of people. An earthquake that can kill thousands of people that are in buildings and shit.
Brother, first of all, a lot of these things are man-made. The earth is a living source, and I try to tell people this all the time. The source of life and plant life comes from the earth. The fact that you can put a seed inside of the earth and it grows out a plant is proof that the earth is a living source. That means the earth is alive. And it will respond to you as such. So when you start drilling inside of it, imagine this. Somebody was drilling in you. Wouldn't your body try to adapt? If somebody was drilling in you right now, wouldn't your body try to go into shock mode? Well, that's the same thing that happens when man starts to drill in the earth. When man starts doing things to the earth, to a living being. The earth is going to go into shock mode and is going to react. So a lot of the things that you're seeing right now, present in 2023, is man-made abuse of the earth and the living source and living being itself called the planet. Let's go. We are cooking.
Fall into their depths. Why would he create some shit like that? Is he not all powerful? Or is he not all good? See what I'm saying? This is shit I'm talking about. Like, I don't ask that, like it doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you created Earth, right? Why would you make that shit? It doesn't make sense, right? That's why.
And it doesn't. And I agree with you. But there is something called balance. And everything is on a Richter scale of balance. There's a left and right side to everything, right? So there's evil and good. That is called balance. That's just the way the world operates, the way he decided to create it. And that's just the way it is. It's balance. There's going to be good things that's going to happen. And there's going to be bad things that's going to happen. And that's just how you create balance. Let's go.
That's another reason why I don't believe in God. Why the fuck would you make that? Who the fuck told you to make that? Then
I'm gonna let him talk for a while after this. But this is a thing. And this is why there's an actual scripture that's built on this. It said, who can tell God what to do? Who can tell God what to do? See, we don't understand the concept of God. God is being able to do what you want to do. You are God. Who's going to tell you what to do? But yet he said, who told God? Nobody. Because nobody can tell God nothing. He's God. Until we as humans come to that clear understanding that he is God and God can do whatever he feels like it, if you like it or not. That's God. That is the pure common sense of what God means. That is the pure definition. And if we would just accept it, then we wouldn't have all of these thoughts running through our head. The answer has already been answered. He is God. He did it because he felt like it. Let's go.
And then on top of that, right? Let's say guns, right? Why did God make guns? You tell somebody that believes in God, you know what they say? And I had this conversation with thousands of people. Not thousands, I'm exaggerating. But hundreds of people. Oh, well, he gave us free will. God gave.
Let's deal with the gun situation. God didn't create guns. Man created guns. Okay, let's get that clear. See, a lot of people like to throw things on things that it shouldn't be thrown on, and that's one of them. God didn't create guns. God didn't tell man to go out there and grab a bunch of guns and start killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that is just the outcome of choice. Let's go.
He gave us free will. He gave us free will, right? He gave us free fucking will. See, look at the weather in LA. You see how it's dark now? It's sunny, then it's dark. Like goofy at like, why would God do this? See what I'm talking about? God changing the weather while I'm speaking. Well, I don't believe in him, but you know what I'm saying? If quote unquote God, you know what I mean?
Now you notice he called itself. I told him all the time, even the hardcore atheist, because I don't believe he's a hardcore atheist. I just believe he just needs some answers answered, and we're here to answer them. You know what I'm saying? But like he say, you know, he called himself, because I tell people all the time, I said the atheist is always talking about God. But if he doesn't exist, then why are you talking about him? And it always stumps them, because I've had some of the most intense debates with these atheists, and I have crushed them. All the Darwins, all the Big Bang theories, I have destroyed every last one of them. Because I tell them all the time, if you don't believe in God, then why are you sitting here having conversations and debates over God? Don't let that go over your head. Let's go.
Why would he do that? Don't make sense, right? Why the fuck would you be changing the weather? Hot, then it's cold, then it's hot, then it's cold. But look, yeah, I don't believe in that. Like, and
The reason why the weather is changing from hot to cold the way it is right now is these are signs. These are signs that God put in the Bible to let you know of His coming. He said there's going to be signs and wonders in the sky. So He's just letting you know. He's warning man. He's telling you that something's going to happen, hoping that when you see it, that you would respond accordingly. So it's a warning. Just like you see a red warning sign, that is a warning sign. And this is God's warning sign to man. Okay? Do something, change something, because I'm on my way. This is what it is. These are all just signs. That's why it's called signs of the time. These things were given to you as warnings of God's coming. Let's go. We're cooking. We are cooking. Let's go.
then they say free will, like God gave us guns for free will and, to do whatever we want, and it's man-made. And I don't believe none of that shit, bro. Nothing is man-made. Everything that's on earth right now, God created. If I were to make a video game right now, right, and I put fucking 2 trees there, right, and I know what could be capable out of making out of those trees or whatever, or just even then, right? You got to think, even like, I made the game, right? Whatever I put in there, that's what's gonna be there in that game. Even the way people think, you know what I mean? Even the way people think.
See, in the Bible, my young brother, it is something called, who can understand the depths of God? And this is just true. Who can understand God's thinking? Like, who can really go inside of God's mind? We're talking about the most intelligent being in existence. How could you, at your level of thinking or our human capacity, can ever reach one molecule of the depth of God? We just don't have the ability. And I don't blame them, because as inferior beings, we can never understand the depth of God. And that's why I don't go out of my way to even try, because we just can't even go down that deep. Just like the people that went down in that little Titanic thingy, whatever it would try to go down to the bottom of the ocean and exploded. That's what happens, or that what would most definitely happen if we would try to understand the depths of God. We just can't understand God, because it just wasn't meant for us to understand Him. He didn't create us for us to understand Him, because we never could. We just never will. And I'm okay with that. And you should be okay with that. So don't let life frustrate you, and don't waste your time trying to understand God, because it is simply impossible. Let's go. We're cooking. We just answering his questions, and we really just giving him the clearness and understanding of the concept of God. And that's why I made this video. Let's go.
Who created that? God, because he had to create everything. He had to create consciousness, right? So for somebody to sit there and think about making a gun, that's not man-made. God made that. If God created the universe, he made everything. So he made consciousness, he made everything.
And you're right, and you're 100% correct. He gave you the ability to think. He gave you the ability to rationalize. He gave you the ability to make rational or irrational decisions. That's called balance. Evil and good. I think of doing something good, or I can think of doing something bad. I can push this old lady down, or I can help her across the street. That's the beautiful thing about balance. That's the beautiful thing about choice. And yes, he gave that to you purposely. He gave you the ability to decide either to do good or to do bad. Those are facts. Let's go.
Come on, man. He put that thought in our mind to make a gun, or he already created the gun. It was just evolution. I ain't gonna lie. I'm starting to think that this shit is just a timeline, really, bro. Like, this shit is just fake. Like, this shit is just really just a timeline. This shit is a simulation. That's what I believe. This is a good topic. I'm about to really spill the beans. Look at another hag right in front of me. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to start going to a different area. But I like this area, though, because I thought it was low-key. But
let's clear up one thing. God didn't give you the thought. You accepted it. The thought came in your mind that I'm going to create this gun, this weapon of destruction that can harm and kill other humans. God didn't put that thought in your head. The thought came to your mind and you accepted it, and you decided by your own rational or irrational mind, you decided to make the gun. And the guns are killing people. God didn't give you that thought. But one thing I can say is you sure accepted it and you acted on it. Let's go.
At first, but now it's not low key no more, so I might have to move to a different area. You know what I mean? Or I might. Nah. But look, see what I believe in. I believe this is a simulation. I truly believe that. Like, I believe this is a simulation. This is fake. Everything that's happening to you right now in your life, it was just meant to happen. It was like, I swear, that's what I believe. I believe that everybody just has a book. Everybody has a timeline. And some people's timelines are longer than other people's timelines. Some people's timelines are shorter than other people's timelines. Some people's timelines are maybe better experienced than other people's life timelines. That's what I believe in. I believe that.
And you're right on that concept. There is a book, and it's called the Book of Life. And it's already been written, but everything we done, it just knew what we was going to do. So it predicted our actions today. But whatever we did while we was on this earth was still 100% our choice. Just because God has the ability to see in the future and write that book doesn't change the fact that you yourself wrote the book because you decided to do what you did. So therefore, the book was just pre-written of the actions that it knew that you was going to take. But it's still up to us. Whatever we do on earth, whatever book we write, we are writing our own chapters. Facts. Let's go. We are cooking. We're going to break all of this down for this young brother, this young king, can understand what is really going on around him, for he can stop being stressed out, for he can stop worrying, and that it's all okay. And just take it in, take it for what it's worth, and make life as best as you can. Don't overthink it, but just understand it. Let's go.
Because the reason why I believe in that is because even just the way people think, it's all different. You know what I mean? Even the way people act is everybody's different. The way people just everything in a whole, like, even just, you know, like, you ever heard of the term of an NPC? Like, I really believe NPC is like a real thing, though. Like, not in a way of like they're fake people, but like in a way of like they're just like kind of just like dumb. Like, they're just there. Like, they don't know what's going on. They just wake up. Like, they're like robots almost. They're not literal robots, but they're like damn near like a robot. And that made me think too, like, just seeing how people think as I go older, just seeing how people react to certain stuff, like when I'm just watching and about, just seeing how like people just even just think about stuff, like how I react to certain things. Like there might be somebody that's like the other day I went to Rouse, right, and I walked in there and the old lady, she's like, oh, I'm about to sit here and watch this because the police was there. I guess something happened. I don't know, but it was just some little shit. And like this white lady was there, like in a fucking like scooter. She's like, oh, I'm about to watch this. The police are here again. And I'm like, you old ass bitch, go home. Like there's nothing that even happened. Like I just got here, just some bullshit. Like a dude got like, I don't know. I think somebody took his water or some, I don't know. It was some bullshit. Like something super small. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're just that bored of life to the point where like even this little ass situation just made you just so intrigued.
See, this is one of the number one things I learned because I used to be stressed out and depressed. I learned, first of all, not to overthink things, not to be overwhelmed by things. And I also learned not to take ants and turn them to elephants. And if you don't understand what that means when a person takes something small and make it big. And I used to do that. I used to look at every little thing every little person used to do, every little thing that people would do, and I would magnify it times 10. And sometimes it's just the way a person's mind is geared up to do that. Some people might see an ant and see an ant. Some people might see an ant and think it's an elephant. And I think that's what's going on here, is that this young brother tends to pay attention to so much. And what it is, he's very intelligent. I can tell just the way he's able to just break things down. But he has to understand that some things are just more simple than what he's making them out to be. Once I learned that, I calmed down. My blood pressure came down. I stopped overthinking things. And I start accepting things for what they are versus trying to change them or always wondering why they are the way they are. And that is just a very heavy burden to carry mentally and psychologically. And that's why we all need to take a brash moment to relax and say, that's okay. That is just part of life. That was that person's choice. That person killed somebody because they decided to kill somebody. It's not a matter of why they did it. It's the fact that they decided to do it. And our main concern is just to make sure that we don't do it. So instead of me getting pissed off at everything everybody do, I just make sure I don't do it. And that's just a lot more simple. Does that make sense to you? Instead of worrying about what everybody else is doing or paying attention to every little thing, just make sure that you're making the right decisions in those things that you don't do. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. Just make sure you don't do it. And it's okay. Let's go.
Like, you old bitch, go home. Like, this is the shit this is the stuff that.
But I'm gonna end it right here. I just wanted to break down a few things about the very concept of God itself, what God meant, meaning that God never had a beginning, God will never have an end. He always was. And he's not subject to time because he created time himself. Time is a God creation, so he's not subject to that as we are. We die, we get old. We start off as a baby and we get old as a man, and then we pass away. We pass on because we're subject to time. Just like if you put an orange on the table and come back 5 years later, we know that orange is not going to be in the same condition it was when we left it. Why? Because that orange is subject to time. God is not subject to time. That's why he never ages. He never had an age. He doesn't have a birth date because he was never born. He doesn't have a creator because he was never created. These are the concepts of God that once you understand them clearly and understand who God is and what the concept of God is, and accept that as a human being, that there is a God, and the concept of God means I do as I please. I do as I will because I am God. I am the number one authority of all things. And when we accept that, then that's what life gets a whole lot easier. And the problem is some people don't like the concept of God, more or less not just wanting to believe in him. They just don't like the concept. Well, I don't like the concept of a being or anyone being able to tell me what to do or to be able to dictate my life. First of all, it's not your life because God gave life to you. So what you've been given is a gift. Respect the gift that you have been given and stop being arrogant by calling it your life. It was a gift that God gave to you. It is his life. He can give it to you, and yes, he can take it back because he is God, the Almighty, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Period. That is the true definition in the concept of God. And yes, it is beautiful. Like, subscribe, and as always, one love.